I'm Merryl Key, and this is my mystery school. Here's some astrology, what's happening and why, linking the moon's phases and global events to the planetary action in the sky. If you want more info on your specific zodiac sign, look at my monthly Astro Dice forecasts. And thanks for your like, follows, shares and subscribes. It really helps my channel. The new moon on the 22nd of Jan in Australia, 21st for the rest of the world, falls right at the very beginning of Aquarius. It kicks off the Chinese New Year of the Rabbit. The Rabbit year is peaceful, agile, sensitive, and aware of its surroundings and what's happening in the environment. In the Chinese horoscope, the rabbit is lucky because it's fertile and abundant. It's also really chilled and fluid and relaxed. It can adapt. And that sits well with Aquarius new moon as the opener. Aquarius new moons are social, it share ideas, it loves a group, it loves a collaboration, and it also creates the space to have independent thought, freedom from traditional expectations, or to build on a vision that's different to what is current and present. Aquarius are futurists. Also, there's no retrograde planets at the moment. There's no major crappy aspects with this moon, and it indicates that the planets are acting true to form and without a mask. There's just one sticking point before you can leap off into a new beginning, and that's Pluto, right here at the end of Capricorn, nestling up to the sun and moon. And that puts an intensity into the year of the rabbit. This little combo also takes us back to Chinese New Year 2020, which was the very first COVID-19 super spreader event. So less like Bunny and more like Donnie Darko. You have to go beyond the fluff. Pluto opens the ground beneath it to show what's in the shadows. Where's the hidden power? Maybe there's revelations. Maybe there's resilience. Pluto here puts in a psychological vibe, a detox, a reckoning. In tarot, it's the judgment card, where you pull the pieces together before stepping out into completion and triumph of your journey. This means for the new moon, you need to summon the courage or face a fear. Maybe it's social anxiety or breaking away from a group to find your independence. You've got just enough distance to look back at something from a whole new perspective. Pluto's sitting there right at the end of Capricorn, and this moon gives us a hint at what kind of deconstruction process will be going on when Pluto fully moves into Aquarius in 2024. Mercury's also in Capricorn. It's the god of communications and messages and agreements and movement, and it's making a fabulous link to the North Node. Here in Taurus, close enough to Uranus for these two to connect. Mercury's also linked to Mars, here in Gemini, retracing the steps that it's been doing over the last few months while it's been retrograde. This aspect is a quincunx, and it puts tension on your decisions and a need to integrate something that's been out of kilter. Because of the positive link with the North Node, you know which direction you want to go, but you'll need Mars to help you summon up the courage, put it in action, overcome an inner battle. The inner battle here between Capricorn and Gemini is overthinking it, looking for justifications, putting pressure on yourself. So the trick here in facing that fear is to make it like an experiment. What would it be like if, not looking at an outcome, but at the immediate steps in front of you, as if you're gathering experiential research on a new plan, with a kind of detachment and awareness. The last full moon in Cancer, on the 7th of January, Mercury was getting a big blast of that Uranian splitting open and revealing energy. It was also opposite Pallas. We said there'd be kooky turnarounds and revelations, exposure, and in the lead up to the full moon, on the 30th of December, Andrew Tate got arrested after self-doxing himself in a Twitter feud with Greta Thunberg. Some pizza boxes helped. In some ways, this was an exercise of dumb versus smart. Pallas gets justice done the smart way. He was arrested for sex trafficking in Romania and held in remand. His luxury cars got seized on the full moon, and Greta Thunberg just became even more of a superstar and role model in the eyes of many. On the 7th of Jan, with that full moon, America was holding its Speaker of the House votes. John McCarthy only got through after 15 votes by watering down the powers and doing deals. In complete contrast, it was also the anniversary of the Jan 6 insurrection, and the police who defended the Capitol that day got bravery awards in recognition of what they were defending. Jupiter was opposite Ceres, and this can mean big weather events. In Australia, the northwestern part of the country completely flooded. Europe is in a midwinter heat wave, and America's been hit by bomb cyclones and ice storms. This new moon, Jupiter in Aries, is still operating opposite Ceres in Libra. And this time, Jupiter is joined with Juno. Juno was once the Queen of Heavens, but agreed to have her queendom reduced in exchange for marrying Zeus, aka Jupiter, King of the Skies. And by marrying him, she got voting rights at Mount Olympus and established Mount Olympus as the new home of the gods, a new regime. Jupiter and Juno were a power couple, just like Posh Spice and David Beckham. So with Juno and Jupiter here, the expectations run very high. There's commitments and partnerships, big promises, maybe even marriage with this new moon. Opposite Ceres in Libra, some of you might be looking at these commitments and arrangements involving children or a legal issue or compensation, or with Ceres, trade and orders, supplies, deposits, a mortgage. It's like a big down payment. Cardinal signs, Aries, Libra, Capricorn and Cancer, are more likely to be juggling expectations against reality or expectations about what realistically can be delivered. But these are a power couple, and it carries a lot of weight. A negotiation can be met. If you look at the chart, you can see the planets are bunching up in little bundles together, and with their own contribution, they're adding to the gravity and the mood of this moon. Venus and Pluto have joined together also in Aquarius. And when they get together, it's a bit harsh. We know there's negotiations going on, but this one can bring a blunt rebuttal, a sudden responsibility, or a disconnect from your self-worth, self-punishment. Saturn can make Venus seek perfection, an unrealistic perfection, and that's usually inflicted on the self. This is a lesson in when not to take things personally and how to find freedom within a current restriction, knowing when you need to put protections in and put up a boundary to protect what you love and protect your self-worth. Another little bunch is Neptune in Pisces, conjunct Vesta. Neptune and Vesta is a really sweet place for water signs. There's a sense of dipping out of the ordinary to do your own thing. It's sacred, it's spiritual, it's magical. You could also feel like you've been caught up in a spell. These two draw you in, put you in a trance. With the rest of the planets, there's no real red flag or warning, but if you are being swept up in something, take time to silently consider potential danger. This Neptune and Vesta creates a kind of total surrender. And there's a mood here that you're not going back to something. Pluto says you're ready to shut the door, and it will need your courage and resilience to do that. This new moon phase and the beginning of the year of the rabbit is about knowing you have to release something because you've already moved on. Things have changed, and you're just not into that old thing anymore. This moon represents a psychological turning point and a bit of breathing space to test it out. New moons in Aquarius encourage inventive solutions, and the plutonic power underpinning it shows we're heading into quite a radical transformation. I'm Merryl, and this is my mystery school. Like, follow, share and subscribe, and check my other videos or contact me through my website www.merrylkey.com. Thanks for watching.